the Mayor, Councillor Rebecca Patterson, councillors, members of Parliament, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to all of you. It is so lovely to see people gathering here together to celebrate Australia Day. I would first like to show my respects and acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land on which this meeting takes place and of elders past and present. Thank you for inviting me to come here to Glen Waverley to spend Australia Day with you. My name is Yvonne Ho, and I'm so happy to be Australia Day Ambassador here because Glen Waverley is the home of my childhood. None of us could have imagined that I would be speaking here in Glen Waverley today on the podium nearly half a century later. My family, together with a handful of other Asians who would subsequently become our lifelong friends, we are some of the first Asians of Glen Waverley. My public address today is dedicated to these first Asians, many of whom still live in Glen Waverley and in the city of Monash. Some of them are here today as my guests. To Auntie Mei Ngan, Auntie Nancy, Auntie Huang, Auntie Shaolin, Uncle Hong Hee, Man Yi, Ga Yi, and your family. Welcome to all of you. And thank you for coming to support me. You are my extended family, my godparents, my godsisters, my godfamily. In the 1970s, when I was a child, Glen Waverley was an Anglo-Saxon suburb. Rock Kung on Kingsway was the only Chinese restaurant around here for miles and miles on end. There were all sorts of other shops, boutiques, cake shops, dry cleaners, news agencies, and even one school uniform shop. However, if we needed to buy anything different, such as soy sauce or oyster sauce for Chinese cooking, well, you're not going to find it around here. So instead, we would have to take a day trip down to the city and buy these sauces by the dozen bottles because we don't know when we're going to go back down to the city to buy them again. Private schooling was also very, very fashionable in those days, but it's very different from what it is now. We, the Asians, were truly the minority there. Glen Waverley High School, now called Glen Waverley Secondary College, well, it didn't have the accolades it does now. I still remember my mother threatening me and my brother, if you don't study hard enough, I am going to enroll you in Glenny High. And we were very scared because we didn't want to be seen anywhere near Glenny High in those days. 1970s was also the time we could leave our empty glass bottles in metal carrier outside our front door, and magically the next day they would be replaced by glass bottles filled with milk to the top, sealed with foil tops. My father and I would then race to be the first to open a new bottle of milk so that we could savor the cream on top. 1970s was also the time that if you hadn't bought petrol for your car by 6 p.m. on a Friday evening, you would have to go without petrol until the following Monday morning when the petrol stations reopened.